think it's just confusing for everyone. Conductors are usually very lonely people, you know, because we are always alone. We rarely have a colleague to talk to.
Because I'm conducting some of the performances as well, so there's that, and I've also done the piece earlier on this year as well. So I feel like we've both got Figaro sort of in our head. So, but my instinct is always to try and learn what I can from watching Tobias work, because he's got so much more experience than me.
Yeah, we work well together. We exchange ideas, and so it's fantastic. I think to have someone to talk to about details and ask the other person, you know, what he or she thinks about this or that. You know, I think it's great.
I always like Tobias to do a scene first and see what's he going to. Okay, that's it. Okay, yeah, no, that's really good. I like that. You know, and then if I have an idea, you're very receptive to hearing it. You won't always want to do it, but I think that's really good relationship.
For if you're not so very familiar with the opera, or even with opera as an art form, there are very many very famous tunes that you may have heard, like Figaro's aria. A lovely tune, and if you have seen the film Amadeus, you know that tune.
For people who've seen Shawshank Redemption, there's the letter duet. When Susanna and Countess are writing a letter together.
Mozart wrote most of his operas, or all of his operas, with sort of half the opera really with numbers, arias and ensembles with orchestra, and then half of the opera just spoken dialogues, basically, with just a piano accompaniment. And during those recitatives, as we call them, that's where the action happens. And then in the arias, they just sing beautifully, basically. And especially in those recitatives, I'm very careful with interfering with them, because I think that's for the director and the singer to work out. From day one, I was completely starstruck, you know, because Thomas Allen, when I started listening, I fell in love with opera when I was a boy, 10 years old, and quite early on I started, you know, buying his recordings and hearing his watching videos with him. So he was one of my idols, I would say, from childhood. And then suddenly, 30 years later, I'm working with him in the rehearsal room, and he's a legend, you know. And he also, I have to say, I think it's safe to say that few people in the world know Figaro as well as he does. I mean, really. It's a cliche, of course, but there is something for everybody in this opera, for the connoisseurs, for the opera nerds, you know, who know this opera inside out. It's still fantastic for them to come and see this show with a beautiful set and amazing singers, really good singers. This opera has for 230 years been one of the most performed, most beloved opera in the entire operatic literature, you know, for 230 years. And we talk about legends, pop legends after, you know, a career of 20 years, you know. But this opera has survived for 230 years. That, I don't know, you know, what else can you say?
Yeah.
You know.